Alright guys, welcome back. It's another day in the shop. For you, I guess this might be on the same video, but for me, it's a whole new day. Been taking this pretty slowly. I've had some other projects to work on. But I'm back on this kind of just for a quick update today. Tomorrow will be a little bit more progress happening, I suppose. But I also didn't film the last day or so. I was trying to get something accomplished, so we'll catch up on that. You can see we've got a couple holes cut out, here being one of them. This was just a bad spot. It was a little thinner than I anticipated it was going to be. Cut it out, bit the bullet, you know. I'm going to get some weld through primer and end up primering that tomorrow after I probably clean it up a little bit more. This is the unibody rail you can see. This is the actual floor pan. I have to get that welded up and probably hit it with some seam sealer and primer as well. Over here I've got my broken off seat belt, not seat belt, I'm sorry, my broken off seat bracket bolt. This was kind of surrounded by some really thin crusty metal too. This plate is the reinforcement plate on the underside of the floorboards. The floorboard itself was getting pretty thin and bad. So again, I bit the bullet, cut it out. You can see inside the unibody rail here. I'm gonna have to come up with a odd shaped patch for that goofy hole that I cut out. Just making it harder for myself, I guess. On the bright side, literally, if I can get my light turned around, I've got this hole here I have patched up. It's been primered. Actually feeling pretty good about that one. Eventually when I cut out my rockers and redo them, I'll be able to hit that with paint and primer from the back side. But right now it should be good as it is. Here's the overall view of my mess. I've done this entire project so far without removing my carpet or my center console. All of that is just covered in plastic, so I'm not burning anything through it. The plastic's not much, but it's enough to stop wire wheel bits and most of the sparks, unless I'm really hitting it hard. But for the moment, it's working. Got my dash covered, so I'm not getting anything on it, not scarfing it up bad. But, I think it'll need a good vacuuming when it's all put back together and done, but other than that, we'll be fine. So, anyhow, guys, talk to you tomorrow. Okay, guys, we're back. It's a new day. I'm getting ready right now to cut out the larger of the small patches. This is the one that included the seat bracket bolt that had broken off. That would be this hole here. I think you can kind of see that. There we go. This one had a kind of a funky shape to it. It had some curves along here. None of the edges are straight. It's just the way I cut it out. It made a little more work for myself than I needed to. So in order to get that shape, I took a piece of paper and I had some dirty gloves on and I rubbed it basically and got a trace of the edges along that hole, making sure not to let the paper move while I was doing that, so I got an accurate shape. Came over here to this little platform I got with the metal, basically cut out my shape out of the rest of the paper, laid it down here on the metal, and then trace the outline of it onto the metal. Now, this might not be the most accurate way to do it. It's gonna have a little bit of roughness around the edges for fitment. That's fine. I'll be able to touch that up and work it into fit. But it was simple to do. Simply tracing it, remove it. Now it's been traced a couple of times, so that's okay. I'll adjust the fitment as it goes in. But now we've got it all set. I've got 3 holes here that'll have to be drilled out for welding, to weld that into the floorboard. This hole has to be drilled out. It is where that seat bracket bolt goes. Excuse me. So I'm gonna get ready to cut this out. I've got my pneumatic cutoff wheel. All right, got her all cut out. As you can see, everything looks pretty decent. Ended up using this pneumatic body saw a little bit more than the cutoff wheel. It just worked a little better for getting into some of those detailed curves and such. So we'll go ahead and take her over, start cleaning up the edges a little more, and see how she fits. We're going to need a little bit of work on fitment. You can see this bottom edge doesn't fit too badly. It's a little too wide. And for the most part, everything follows the curves pretty well. And you can kind of see that. It's not too bad. Little fitment work here, little fitment work there. We'll get this guy welded in no time. This end's a little wider than it needs to be. I might end up opening some of this hole up anyways. That'll be fine. But yeah, we'll get that patched up. Already got a patch cut for this hole here. That'll be next. I really should get some primer on some of this first though. Alright, little update. I've got everything coated in weld through primer right now. I think I'm using Norton brand. Let me find that. Here we are. Norton brand. Zinc Rich weld through primer. Seems to be pretty good stuff. This ran me, I think, $17 a can. I've just got the one can, haven't used very much of it. And that was from my local Napa dealer. Walmart didn't have anything. You'd have to check around, I guess, if you got a better solution. And congratulations. I had to bleed a little bit of money to get this, so anyhow. Back through my mess. We got everything primered up. We got a heater on it, and we will be welding that in pretty quick.